please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Supplemental. People that we cover here often fail to adults in such a basic way that when we do end up covering them, they look like one of the biggest fails on the internet. Even more than the person that financially backed them for years. Bit tragic, isn't it? And I guess that could also be considered foreshadowing. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Where Are They Now? Did we do one of these last year on this guy? I don't remember. Today we're going to be covering Peetz. Peetz was once a barnacle on the hull of Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantal, Mariam, whatever her bleeding name is these days. Queen Biza, let's go with that. Or does that title currently belong to FFG? You know, it's so hard to keep up with them these days. What I thought we'd do is go over some of the things that I bothered to capture, download, save, concerning his 2023, and if this video does well enough, there might be one next year, but I sincerely doubt it. You'll understand why as we go through more and more of what happened in 2023, when people only pay attention to you because of the other person in your life. That person is no longer there. They leave you hanging dry, and your world changes in accordance with that, and you do your usual petty nonsense, melodramatic nonsense, and spurging nonsense. Well, it makes for entertaining viewing, I hope. I guess we'll only know that when I see how many views I get on this. Is this the part where I start by saying I'll get more views on this than you do in an entire month, Peetz? Is it? It feels wrong saying. It's a bit harsh. So we'll begin with January the 5th, 2023, when I bothered to start looking at what you were doing.
Alright, let's put on the song. Let's listen to Chantal's new song. Jesus, 2 minutes. I don't know that I'll listen to all of it.
Hey, so I wanted to write a song. It's been a while since I wrote Pathetic and Starfish, but I thought I would write one called At the End of the Day. And at the end of the day, I will sing a song. I know you have the notifications on, but you're the one watching. At the end of the day, you think it's funny, you think it's bad, while I'm away in the land of sand. Too busy to find out, just for clout, or fade away and not remain. At the end of the day, got this to say, yeah. At the end of the day, hey, yeah. You wish you were important to him, but he's watching you on your media. Don't tell me he never raises him. He only wishes he were a real man. Sad.
Alright, well, I'm already tired of it.
It should be added, Chantal on a semi-regular basis deletes or privates lots of her content. The song is no longer on her channel, nor is it on the couple's channel she does. Now the next thing of interest concerned when Chantal was drunk, she kissed Peetz. He did not give consent in that to being kissed. Now that had happened in 2022, before she went on her new Muslim revert arc, the fake marriage arc, yeah that. Peetz decided to go to bat for Chantal by replying to many people. For example, do better, do what you think is better, not let anyone dictate how you feel about abuse from across the world, you control you. It wasn't effing assault, F off. Someone did point out to him though that he himself had said it. Peetz replied, no, she didn't make any threats towards me, she didn't ask me to comment on the situation, she didn't do anything other than express that she was hurt. I'm so fed up with people trying to draw me into all the drama, and for them to use my words to hurt her? No, F that poop. I am not going to put up with that. Peetz then put out a community post. Honestly kind of pissed that this even needs to be said, that people are trying to draw me into BS. But apparently it does need to be said. Chantal didn't effing sexually assault me. So if you're trying to go after her for that, shut the F up and leave her alone. She feels like poop and that makes me feel like poop. So just leave her the F alone. Let her try to be happy, you effing ghouls. And because Chantal cannot understand for a moment when someone goes to bat for her, she immediately immediately and reactively, which is just her, decided to put out a post, "I cannot believe Peetz would accuse me of SA. Like, I'm so done with people." He's referring to the time I got super drunk on wine and kissed on live stream. I advanced him pretty slowly and he had a lot of time to say no. SA is a serious accusation and people are way too sensitive these days. I really need to rethink my friendships. I cannot even SA over a kiss that he didn't push away. Really?
Does everyone ask before they kiss someone they knew for years and years?
I love caps lock voice. I'm so done. And before people say I accused Trasbag of SA, he did. What do you think he is on trial for now? That's nada. He forced anal sex on me when I said no, and yes, I dropped charges for the R's in the back.
Most women in abusive relationships press and drop charges. It is common.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Anyway, Trashbag, I hope the same happens to you from Bubba in prison, you buck-toothed rabid weasel. There's a couple words in there I had to blur out. Sorry about that. But it's amusing to me to see Chantal accuse Peetz of accusing her of SA when, as I've now shown you, that's not what happened at all. But it kind of was because he said it on live stream. Kinda wish I had the clip of it. Peetz also though replied to a comment which therefore contradicts what he's already said. Natty had written, "Peetz, this is important. We heard Chantal's voicemail about SAing you without your consent. We saw her drunk, forcing herself onto you. I know she's your friend, but that's abuse. And you're accepting because she pays rent. A lot of trans women suffer this kind of abuse quietly. Please don't. Go to the police. Seek help, you deserve better." Peetz replies, "It was technically SA, sure, but at no point has she ever made me feel in danger, so it was easy trespass for me to forgive." Now Peetz does have tendencies similar to that of Chantal, in the sense that he can't let things go. So if you leave negative comments, he's going to reply to every single one of them. Example, "You're about to lose your income, bud. You said it was SA, and the minute she ranged you," rung is the word by the way, "you pretend like we're the crazy one. Good luck paying your rent by turning your back on those that actually support your independence." Reply, "I was trying to be diplomatic before, that just got my friend hurt, so I'm done being diplomatic about this. People want to use me as a weapon against her, those people can kiss my ass." Another reply, "Tell people off all you like, you're the one living in misery." Reply, "I will tell people off, thanks. F you." Another reply, "Why were you trying to be fake hyper woke then? No, it wasn't SA. You had ample opportunity to stop the kiss from your ex-girlfriend best friend for years, but you still chose to say last night that it was SA. Apparently he was trying to be diplomatic. And I'm really disappointed, Peetz." Reply, "I don't care." This is working out so well for Peetz. We will go to a social blade soon, I promise. It's quite amusing. If 2023 is anything for a year when it comes to Peetz, it's the year of his own ineptitude and poor decisions, made manifest leading to an inevitable downfall. So when other things concerning Chantal that also concern him are responded to in such an inherently negative way, it invariably ends with Peetz just showing how absolutely stunted he is.
Just shut the f*** up, people! For f***'s sake! The cat is fucking fine! Jesus fucking Christ, you fucking people are just goddamn tedious! Like Christ, just shut the f*** up! She's fine! The cat is fucking fine! She's fucking fine, you idiots! Fuck off! Shut the fuck up! Hey, Rara, just fucking drop it. Just fucking drop it. Drop the fucking thing. Just fucking drop it, alright?
The context for that clip concerned BBJ, the cat that I believe now is in the possession of FFG, who lied to get the cat. In this, BBJ has a number of concerns, health concerns. The chat were very seriously concerned about the cat and the cat's well-being. Peetz, as you could see there, did not handle the questions very well, because people went to him because they knew Chantal wasn't going to help. She was off living her Muslim revert life to the fullest.
Spaghetti. Adding ranch dressing? No.
I assume we're just going to ignore the fact that in the background that looked like an aging cat limping down the stairs. Very well, moving on. While Peetz is still in the mucky mansion area that he resided in at this point, Chantal had to check up on him on live.
I don't think so, Chantal. I'm pretty sure I got rid of everything that could have rotted in your room. Unless you had some shit hidden away in drawers that I didn't open.
On a livestream titled I Don't Want to Talk About That, released on the 2nd of February 2023, Peetz talked about the fact that he is going to have to live in Cornwall, not the UK version that's been co-opted by Londoners, no, the Canadian version, so nowhere near as nice apparently. Many had pointed out that he relied on Chantal too much because she had promised to always look out for him, yet she has shown over the years that she can never do that. In separate instances, Pete demonstrated how he wasn't handling this very well, which did lead to 1 or 2 donations and members, people saying, would you consider being Salah's second wife? And this is a related clip from that, by the way.
Here's what's going to happen. I'll spend like 3 months living on my mom's car, or living on my mom's couch. I'll spend 3 months living there while I save up enough money to be able to move out and get an apartment, where I will barely make ends meet and be completely unable to save up enough money to ever be able to move to another city. Like, it's just, I'm going to spend the rest of my life living paycheck to paycheck, never having enough money to do a single fucking thing to make me happy for the rest of my fucking life. I'm going to spend the rest of my life completely goddamn miserable. I'm going to be miserable every single day of the rest of my fucking life. That is the situation that I'm in.
Not to be too critical, but the only way you can improve your life is by trying, pushing, striving, and when you are set back, not allowing it to control you. You can only go as far as you want to go, and you've never wanted to go anywhere. Now, Peetz did not take the loss of the condo, the mucky mansion, very well, and this carried on for some time, whereas he might have had some sympathy at the start. Towards the end, he had none, because his handling of it was to almost bait in the unalived territory, to make it seem like, woe be me, things are not going to get better. Of course, if he thought that by going online and moaning about it, that was going to change, he was wrong. Also, a man does not know how to cut a pepper. I'm just going to say that before I play the next clip.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be cooking for much longer, because odds are good I am probably going to end up moving in with my mom, who has a tiny little nothing kitchen. I feel like I'm probably not going to, honestly, I don't know that I'll be live very often at all once I'm there. I'm going to be f***ing miserable. Her kitchen's nothing. Like, it's a shitty kitchen she's got. There's no room. I'm going to be exceptionally depressed. I'll be well, I've got a job lined up. Like, it's something where I will probably end up getting a job at the place where my brother works now. That's probably where I'm going to end up working, which is another thing. I will be way too tired to cook because I'm going to be working full time. So between exhaustion and having a tiny little kitchen in a 1-bedroom apartment with no privacy, I probably am not going to be, yeah, lucky me, I'm going to be able to I'll get to look for another apartment in Cornwall. Be stuck there for the rest of my life. Gonna be such great goddamn time.
I love that at no point in any clip of him going back to Cornwall and talking about going back to Cornwall is he grateful for the fact that at least there's a roof over his head for a time that, well, will help him while he rebuilds his life. Instead, he's just like, this is terrible. This is miserable. This is the worst time of my life and will hurt my mental health. Bitch, if you didn't want your mental health to suffer, simply get a job, build a life, and then move on once you have built the life for yourself.
Whatever the f*** you want, just the fact. I don't f***ing care anymore what you think. F*** off. I'm so fucking tired of people telling me, oh, she ruined your life, she ruined your life, oh, she's ruining the cat, oh, she's terrible, oh, she's the worst person ever, oh, how awful she is, and she's ruining you, and she's ruining the cats, and blah, 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 just fuck off.
In case you couldn't tell, he really doesn't have any patience. This can be extended to including a discussion on dating preferences.
Everyone shut the fuck up for a minute just while I make this absolutely 100% as perfectly clear as I can. Everyone shut the fuck up and just listen closely to what I'm saying. And listen to the words that come out of my mouth, okay? Not what you want to hear, not the that you want to hear, not the conclusions you drew already. Listen to what I actually say here.
It's a remarkable thing to see someone who I have to crop so much dead air out of to make it seem like they really are passionate about a subject and not entirely because they're slowing up, for reasons I don't quite understand, which is what you're seeing on the screen now. But he does get to a point, and that's where we're going to now.
You are allowed to date whoever you want. No one is going to shame you for dating who you want to date. All that is being said
is that if you are refusing to date someone solely because they are trans, specifically because they are trans, that indicates that there is some degree of transphobic attitudes in your way of thinking.
I hate buzzwords. It's a way of trying to shame the person who thinks a certain way into changing their thought process. It's weak tea, weak sauce, and embarrassing, but not surprising you'd pounce on this. It's just a shame that when you do decide to get very emotional and vocal on subjects like this, and politics especially, you come across as someone who wants to understand, but can't understand yet. Because there's something there stopping you from actually realizing the bigger picture. In this, it's actually remarkably simplistic. You've accepted dating preferences, but now you're trying to poke at that part. To say, but if you can't, then you're this. It's not an absolute. It really isn't. And it's vastly more complicated once you start doing that.
I haven't had sex since August. I haven't had sex since December of 2013. Do I miss what, Zoe? Sex? Long dry spell? Yep. Very long.
You know, that might go so far as to explain some of your angry outbursts. I would like to say I'm surprised, but then I'd be lying.
Those people would react. Should they allow nudity at Pride parades? Sure. Why not? Oh no, children will see boobs and penises. Oh, children, oh, they'll be scarred for life by nudity. Who cares?
As the months go on, Peetz does say more and more things that really rub many of his viewers, some of whom were actual supporters, up the wrong way. And this, to be honest, has cost Peetz. Whereas he started the year with about 90 to 85,000 views, as the months went on, it went down significantly from March to April and has not risen since. His subscriber count has been in the negative for all but 1 month of this year, and that was February. At one point he had over 10,000 subscribers, now he is closer to 9.5. Now I know he doesn't really care about this as a job, and it's not a job for him. He certainly could not have made it a job because his format was too lazy, but it was an avenue for him to explore his creativity, and he blew it. There was also talk that perhaps opportunity to stab the person in the back that stabbed him in the back, but it turns out he's too loyal a lapdog to do it. Now I did try and watch a couple of his streams, for example End of Training. The thumbnail was quite catching, but reality was there was so much dead air in these streams that I really struggle even when I speed him up, because the gaps are so lengthy to want to listen to more. And he basically just treats it all as a Q&A, which again can be entertaining if there aren't many gaps in it, if you have stuff lined up. My friend Cog does a show quite often, and he is constantly doing something. There is something for everyone. It's a variety, it is focused, because sometimes the focus runs out, so it becomes variety, but he stays on point, he gets it going, keeps the chat moving, engaging. You engage with the chat, but you don't have enough people in your conversation to keep conversation, and you don't want to talk to keep the conversation going either. So we're now going to skip ahead a little to Peetz trending on Twitter, which wasn't a joke. Loran here tweeted she dumped Peetz at the lowest of his life, then cut all contact because she didn't need him anymore. Didn't even ask him how he was doing. Now the See You Next Tuesday contacted him when she needed to exploit him again. She is a true psychopath, using people like tools for her benefit. For more information on that, I'm going to have to defer you to Foodie Beauty's end of year review, because for the life of me, Archive won't let me simply click on a tweet and take me to where I was, whereas it used to do that. My apologies to all of you. But then when these good graces are seen by many, because Peetz has been mistreated, he goes and undoes it. For example, he had an opinion on the OceanGate Titan submarine, and this went down like a sack of hoop. It did not help him. I did make a video on my channel actually about optics concerning Peetz and another person. I might just play that clip. So instead we're going to go to Canada to respond to a video being shared on Twitter of a bearded, balding incel who has all the insight and opinion that you all desperately don't need. Foodie Beauty's ex-housemate, Peetz.
Greg, your thoughts on the missing submarine? Ha! Yes, I've heard about the sub. And I've laughed about it.
There are optics involved, and some people like to be contrarian about it, or seem like they're better than it. Yes, Peetz is no exception to this. When people say that they love his channel is effectively dead, which it is, he can fob it off as saying, I just do this for fun, But the only reason you say that is because this is no longer a feasible option for a source of income, because your bad takes, which there are plenty of, keep on coming to the surface.
Any nutbags willing to go into an experimental craft with a horrible track record that is assembled with used parts are lost cause. Yep! Genuine Titanic experience. Yep! Bunch of rich people dying in the ocean. What's a more authentic Titanic experience than that? Serving subs all day? Long gone, not to... Yeah, and I don't feel bad for them. No idea the Titanic sinks a little close to Canada. Yeah, I often forget about that great value. I do forget how close it was to Canada. Yeah, it's like way closer to Canada than to England.
This creature is a genius of our time and must be protected at all costs. Owing to the vast amount of scrutiny concerning his decisions and his situation, Peetz has taken, or had taken, to blocking vast numbers of people on Twitter. He'd also done it because, while Chantal had essentially cut ties unless she needed something from him, people would still go to him to ask him about her. Where Peetz really does lose out here is that he could have used the opportunity, briefly, to turn for a little bit of extra money to make things a bit easier on himself. Chantal was so quick to throw him under the bus, and did throw him under the bus multiple times in her own streams, yet he wouldn't. But he will block anyone just cause. As the months also go by, his audience number dwindles. As you can see here, live chat for members, when Shenanigans asked him why she was being ignored, he just did. In fact, his numbers continue to drop for some time.
You're not blocked yet, Shan. I'm just ignoring you because fucking whatever. Here's an example of, and it's a perfect example of the kind of liar that Trump is.
Now, I had thought over the months that perhaps with him moving to Cornwall, with him starting a new job, new life, perhaps YouTube would go on the back burner. But actually, he has been just as active, live streaming, and also uploading Let's Plays and the occasional narration to his channel. It has not helped him, and his channel has not grown, because he built his audience during the time of Beezing, and he didn't introduce much of this until after. So those that should have or could have stayed didn't want to stay, which is why when I showed his Social Blade earlier, his views have tanked. So owing to the quietness of any controversy or anything controversial coming from Peetz, I didn't check in on him until September, where he said this. As you can tell, he is still just as bright as ever. Peetz did confirm in October, so it was the only thing of note worth acknowledging, that Chantal and he no longer speak, which is perhaps good for him, because he needs to build his own life. No offense to Chantal and her fake life, but Peetz doesn't need to be dragged down by that. He's a crappy person for some of the things he said in the past, whether they be just a jerk or not, but he deserves a chance to try and be something away from her. Whether that be on social media or whether that be building his own life. A life that has essentially been left in limbo because he was waiting on her, but also expected from her. It gets really murky. It really does. He did a lot for her, and she didn't hold up her end of the bargain, which is hardly surprising.
People who watch her channel would know more than I would. I don't actually watch her channel, so probably should, since it's, the only way I can keep up with what she's up to. Did I miss it? I do, PK, I do. I do, PK, I do.
Hi guys, welcome to the live stream. I just wanted to show you guys this new pony that I got at the store. Chantal took me. This is olive pine. She has pretty hair and wings. Bring that cat up one more time! Thursday Lane, you're blocked! Fuck you! Ah!
Not gonna deny, as cringy as that could be seen, that was pretty damn spot on. Don't ever bring up cats with him. Don't ever bring up Chantal with him. Don't ever bring up comics that you like or dislike that he likes or dislikes. Don't talk about politics with him because oh boy. And do not insult anything else that he likes, because he will just curse you out with one word. beginning with F, rhyming with muck, duck, buck, cuck. As far as this year goes for Peetz, he is enjoying himself as a creator, sure. There will not be a time of prosperity for him unless he builds his whole new audience for himself. I want anyone to succeed in what they do if they apply themselves, but Peetz is quite content with the sedentary format of sitting sideways and facing a camera, a profile picture that is not remotely flattering. He is quite okay not looking after himself, but not going too far. He is quite okay coasting. He is a settler. That's what he's always been. He has done many things that make him endearing, but he's done many things that make him revolting. And with Peetz, I have never really wanted to like him or hate him. I don't want to. Part of me pities him because a promise was made to him and it was never kept. I pity him because he's never had the gumption, the cojones, to simply blast the person who betrayed him. Granted, it wouldn't last long, but it would certainly put something in his back pocket because people would be there for it. They'd want to hear it. But I think a part of him never wants to, because I think he still cares about it. Now, this is the last time I ever intend to cover you, because I don't really see a point. I just wanted to highlight some of your greatest hits from 2020. Much like with Nada El Shami, although he's a much scummier individual, I don't want to go near you again.